It's we, us, ours. So, you know, this is just another installation for CrumbTV. You can follow and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and any other platform that we may be on. So with that said, Brother Calico, you wanted to do a measure on Nimrod. Is that correct?
Yeah. You know, I was going to name it I Am a Nimrod, you know, because they're going to call me that anyways when it's all said and done. You feel me? I'm a Nimrod. I'm a moron. You know, I'm a demon. I'm a Satan.
That's right.
You feel me?
That's right.
You know, I might say Hail Lucifer. They're going to piss their pants. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it is what it is. I'm going to break it down.
Right. We forgive them for they know not what they do. You know, a lot of what is good has been portrayed as bad. A lot of what is bad has been portrayed as good. And, you know, we are backwards in several manners and sense. And, you know, what we strive to do today is set the record straight. So in efforts to do that, brother, can you tell me about Nimrod?
Oh, most definitely. You know, see the reason I really want to touch on him, because, you know, everybody like to rely on the Bible, but the only person in the Bible that ever existed that we know is Nimrod. Nimrod is the only person in the Bible that ever existed.
Teach.
So, you know, I just don't understand. You know, I don't understand the Jesus talk because we can't prove it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's not just the fact it's a letter J or Iesus, but the whole point is, you know, it's coming from the Greeks. You know what I mean? So it really was never a Jesus. So we try to clean it up and say, oh, in Hebrew, it wasn't a letter J, so it was Yahshua. Nah, there was never a Jesus. So there was no, you can't switch it up. Oh, it was Yahshua. No, it wasn't Yahshua. But I'm going to get to the point. Nimrod really existed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I'm trying to connect the North and the South because I know how y'all is, you know. Y'all don't want to believe that the Sumerians and the Egyptians, well, you know, brother and sister, you feel me? Or all of that land was ran by the same people, you know, whether one side be the mother and the father, you know, the lunar cult, you know, or the solar cult.
Whoa.
The solar cult, you feel me?
Two sides of the same coin.
Same coin, you feel me? It's just east and west. You know how it go. Like the king and queen would never stay amongst each other. You feel me? Like she would have her kingdom wherever, you know, in the west, and he would have his in the east, and whatever he lays down as law is, you know, is law in that land, and whatever she lays down as law is the law in that land, and the people have to find a balance in between. But what I'm getting at is that lower land is Sumeria. You feel me?
Right.
Because when we talk about Nimrod, you can say in the Greek story, he's Apollo. You feel me?
Okay.
And you know, even deeper, so Apollyon, which is the sun god, you know, a fire-breathing dragon. They don't want to get on that side. But what I'm really gonna hit you with is, you know, I wish you could get on the front of the computer, but it's really coming from King Ninari. You know what I'm saying? Where they getting Ninar is where they saying Nimrod. You feel me? So it was never, you know, that's just another way they have, you know, switched the word up, but it's not quite Nimrod. It was Ninar. You feel me?
Okay.
Or Ninurta, or really King Ninari. You know what I mean? King Ninari, which was an Egyptian, you feel me, actually ran that land. And when we talking about Nimrod connected to 10 tribes, or all of those lands, that was actually King Ninari. Where we get that Nimrod, yeah, Ninnari. So you can show the people who King Ninari is.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said, I'm sorry. Spell it again.
Ninnari.
Okay. So King Ninari, let's see what came up. Oh, okay. The screen just got dark skin. Yeah, or maybe you turn the light off.
Nah, you know the sun kind of moving around.
Oh, okay, okay. No, nothing's coming up for King Nirari.
Hold on. Put. Oh, my bad. Nirarri. My bad. Nirarri. Adad-Nirarri. So Nirarri is where they're getting Nimrod. You feel me? But you know,
a rendered in all but two inscriptions ideographically, meaning Adad, my helper, the king of Assyria. Now, when it says the king of Assyria, we know that Nimrod was, some people would call him an Assyrian. So I can see the connection right there, because Nimrod was considered an Assyrian, just for the family who may not be aware of that. He was the earliest Assyrian king whose annals survive in a detail. Annals, maybe? I hope that's not what I think it is. He achieved major military victories that further strengthened Assyria in his inscriptions from Assur.
So did you find Nirarri? Adad-Nirarri? Put it like this. See, I'm the one who's saying that is Nirarri. Well, I'm not the only, but put it like this. When I was reading the author by the name of Julian James, she identifies Takuti or Takuti Ninurta, which is like the son. No, is he the son? Yeah, he's the son of Nirarri, and she identifies him as being Nimrod. But but I can also show you. Put it like this. You know, the whole story of the Jesus thing is coming from the Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. You feel me? Tammuz would be the Christ, would be Nimrod reborn. So who we calling Semiramis? Semiramis is actually she was actually alive at the same exact time that I'm talking about King Nirarri. You feel me? And her name was Sammuramat. So we're getting Semiramis from Sammuramat, and we're getting Nimrod from Nirarri. You feel me?
Okay,
So,
I'm with you.
so look up SAMMU. That's Samu, and then dot Ramat, RAMAT.
Yeah, it definitely came up.
Yeah.
Was the queen regent of the Assyrian Empire. So again, we are in Assyria, where Nimrod in the Bible was at. Who held the throne for her young son Adad-Nirarri III until he reached maturity. And we know, the same thing happened in the Bible. She is known as Sammuramat, and mostly notably Semiramis, something like that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay.
Semiramis.
Semiramis. That's it. If I could mention
a Hellenized version.
If I could mention one more thing, when we're dealing with Nimrod, a lot of Masons are going to call him the very first Mason in terms of the Bible. And they say that because, you got two types of Masons. You have an operative Mason and a speculative Mason. Now, a speculative Mason is one who's going to talk that talk. They know the language, the handshakes, they wear their apron and they know how to pose, so on and so forth, but they never touch the brick in their whole goddamn life. Let's take them out. So the other type of Mason is an operative Mason. An operative Mason actually operates in masonry. They build shit. And, when we talk about Masons, we're talking about master stone builders. Nimrod was a master stone builder. Now, we say, well, if Nimrod was a master stone builder, what did he famously build?
Nimrod in particular?
The Tower of Babel.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Just like we say Imhotep was a Mason, a master Mason, because he built the pyramids. Yeah. Well, Nimrod was a master Mason because he built the Tower of Babel. And that masonry, the level of masonry that Nimrod expressed was so great that he caught the attention of God himself. Are you following me, brother?
I shake.
That's right.
I shake.
You know, so they're going to make it seem like Nimrod was stupid. Oh, you are Nimrod. Nimrod was
Yeah.
his genius was on a level that he got God's attention and made God feel some type of way. Come on, somebody.
I shake.
I say.
Even I mean, just to even speak on like Babylon, you know, they like to call it Babylon, you know, and then they'll try to connect the word Babel, which is ain't talking about nothing, you know, just babbling on. They're trying to say that's what Babylon is all about, but it's not. You know, really, you break it down, is Ba, Baal, and On. You know, Ba being the soul, and then Baal, you know, being Baal, which is that fire breathing dragon, which is just a representation of the sun itself. You feel me? And On meaning Anu. So Ba, Baal, On. Babylon is, you know, you can even translate it in Hebrew. It means the gateway of the gods. So we're gonna say the gateway of the gods is the most evilest place on earth. You know what I mean?
Because the Tower of Babel was going to reach heaven. It was literally the gateway. And even when we look at the land of Babylon, you know, this land is also prior to it being Babylon, it was called Chaldea. So now you have these Babylonians. Like, oh, those are the Babylonians. Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me. After it fell, after Babylon came Chaldea. It became Chaldea. So now we'd be like, oh, well, we know about the Babylonians, but they very rarely talk about the Chaldeans. If we look at the most famous Babylonian or Chaldean, we're going to see Moses. Moses was a Chaldean. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Who was it? Let my people go.
Yeah, that's Moses.
That's Moses?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's Moses. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because yeah, he part of the Red Sea and everything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay, yeah. That was him. Moses. Moses was a Babylonian, aka a Chaldean. So now you have this guy who's a Chaldean, and he's from over there in the land of Babylonia, or what some people would call Syria. You know, because a lot of times we don't realize the names of these places change, and we get all confused. Well, I don't know about Babylon, but I know about I don't know about Chaldea, but I know about Assyria. It's all the same land, and the name just changed. You know, exactly. Moors will tell you this is not America. This is Northwest Amexem. They just changed the name.
Hey, and to touch on that, even when like put it like this, even when it comes to the Egyptian culture, like people would tell you it's thousands of gods in the Egyptian culture, but they don't know what the hell they're talking about. See, what it really is, the names change. You feel me? Like for different tasks they might have to do, or transformations they take on, or incarnations or whatever, the name may change, but it's still the same God. So you can just attribute all of those names, that long list of names, to the person it belongs to.
Right. You know, same thing we saw with let's say, just like you were saying, Apollo. Well, Apollo would have been a Roman name. But when we look, I'm sorry, excuse me. Apollo would be a Greek name. But then the Roman name, because it changed, the Roman name would be it's a planet, Saturn. Apollo is Saturn. Let me just make sure I'm right. I'm almost 99% sure I'm right.
Well, it has, like, because Nimrod, like I'm saying, you know, all that represents like Inky. So all that is Saturn. You feel me? Like matter of fact, Nimrod even has that 8-pointed star. You know what I'm saying? So all that's associated with Saturn.
Facts. But as you were saying, well, if I could go back a little bit, you know, because this land, we see the name of the land change, you know, because this is a new land, respectively. If we look at Nimrod, Nimrod is the great grandson of Noah. The land is empty when Noah comes. God says, replenish the earth. Now, keep in mind, he says replenish. There were people before the flood, before, you know, the first creation story. When God, Genesis 1, God hovers over the water. The earth had flooded. So the word floods, so, you know, they replenish the earth. No, I'm sorry. The replenishing was, I think, what God told Adam. Then there was another flood. Everybody died again, and then he told Noah to replenish. So Noah, you know, all this land is new land, you know, and the land is divvied up amongst his sons. And Nimrod's father is the Hebrew Israelites will tell you. Nimrod's father is Cush. Nimrod's father. Cush, yeah, Cush. So Nimrod's father is Cush. Cush is the son of wait, is Cush the son of Ham?
Yeah, he's the son of Ham.
Yeah, okay. Cush is the son of Ham. Ham is the son of Noah. So, you know, the whole world's been flooded out. Everybody dies. They have to replenish the earth. Nope, none of these places have names yet. So, you know, this is the land of, you know, this whole empire. That's the Cushite empire. And, you know, just like you were saying, these aren't different lands. They're just divvied up amongst the kids. All right, my oldest son going to get the north. My second is going to get the south. My, you know, the third is going to get the, you know, so on and so forth. So that one part that, you know, came from Cush, from Noah to Cush to Nimrod, you know, that land was called Babylonia. It's the Temple of Babel. And then it was called, they changed the name after the Temple of Babel to Chaldea. Then they changed the name to Assyria. Same place, just different time periods, different rulers, so on and so forth. But, you know, just to let the family know, that's who Nimrod is. That's where he's at, northeast Africa, or what they call the Middle East. But nonetheless, my apologies, brother. Continue. Keep telling me about Nimrod and who he really was in real life as the only real person from the Bible.
Yeah, I mean, like the Greeks got this whole New Testament from the truly Old Testament of Nimrod, and Semiramis, and Tammuz. You know, feel me? Like that's where you get the cross from. The Tar cross is the original cross. That T coming from Tammuz. You feel me?
Teach.
So basically, when Nimrod passed, Semiramis somehow rebirthed Nimrod, or birthed Tammuz well after the husband passed. So everybody was like, hold on, you know, it's beyond 9 months. You know, how the heck could she have had that baby? You know, and whatever science she used to conceal the seed and the, you know, to put it in the egg, eventually she had Tammuz, and that was like a resurrection story. That was the first resurrection story.
Right.
So these people actually live.
Now,
like, but stuff in the Bible, they can't get nothing real from that. But I see people like Michael Lockwood over here. I bet he think them Greeks told him the truth. You hear me? Hey, that New Testament is something else, man.
Now, you know, because these stories are just from different perspectives. It's like a penny. If you look from one side, you're only going to see Abraham Lincoln, but if you look from the other side, you're going to see the Lincoln Memorial. So, you know, it's the same story, just from different perspectives. So when we're dealing with the Bible, that's from that perspective. But the story of Nimrod, and when we call him Tammuz, that was from the Sumerian perspective, which again, when we're dealing with Sumeria, we're just dealing with Northeast Africa, or what they call the Middle East. So, you know, all we're doing is playing detective. So, you know, we got to go to all the people who saw it. Hey, you know, you were at the scene of the crime. What did you see? So when we're playing detective, I'm gonna go to the Christians. Okay, you were there. What did you see? All right. Well, the you know, Northeast Africa. Okay, the Sumerians were over there too. What did y'all see? You know, so you know, the investigation has to continue. You know, with all the witnesses. I got to interrogate all the witnesses. And the Sumerians say they saw him and they called him Tammuz. The Christians said, oh yeah, we saw the same dude. We just called him Nimrod. You know, and just as you were saying, earlier with the other ones, they said, oh yeah, we saw him too, but we called him King Niniro.
Yeah, Ninurta or Ninari. Yeah.
That's right, Ninari. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, let's see. Yeah, but these Greeks and goddamn, they always run off with the story. They run off with the bag every chance they get, and then they somehow get us to gobble it up and like refuse our own story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if I could, add on to that, because what you were talking about initially before I cut your wisdom, my apologies, is an immaculate conception. I think you were talking about an immaculate conception because Nimrod or Tammuz, by the time he was born, his father had died more than, like 2-3 years after, his father dies,
Yeah, over a year.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's say simple numbers. His father dies in year 2000. His mama ain't cheated, supposedly. And now she has a baby in 2002. So now, this is, by and large, or basically, we call a spade, an immaculate conception. The father's dead. That's his son. Just like with Isis and Asar. The father is dead. So, again, we're going to see, oh, yeah, the Egyptians know exactly who you're talking about. They didn't call him Nimrod. They didn't call him Tammuz. They called him Ra. He was the Immaculate Conception. They called his mother Isis. They called his father Asar.
Yep. He was like Horus in the flesh.
Horus in the flesh.
You know what I mean?
Conception story, because when we dealing with, maybe not with Jesus, because Jesus' father didn't die, but Nimrod's father died. Just like when we look at who do we just say he was like? Somebody who's father. Oh yeah, Horus or Ra died. Osiris or Asar, whatever you want to call him. He died because his brother killed him. So now he's dead. And then after he dies, the wife gets pregnant. The same thing with the Nimrod story. After the father dies, then the mother gets pregnant. And she says to the people, this is an immaculate conception.
Exactly. See, in 2019, they look at it as normal. If let's say two Caucasians 2 years ago were together and the husband passed, but they preserved their seed somehow through technology, through science, then people look at it like, oh that's normal. I can understand that, but they can't believe that we had the science to preserve the seed and to be able to birth when that time, whenever we chose that time to be necessary.
You just fucked me up right then. I got to keep it 5,000. You just fucked me up right then. So when we're talking about an immaculate conception where a woman gets pregnant by the father, but she did not have sex with him, a lot of us know this to be in vitro, where they're able to preserve the sperm. There was a movie, I was trying to look it up and I can't find it. There was a movie with Kevin Hart in it. If anybody knows the movie, please type the name in. There was a movie with Kevin Hart in it, and Kevin Hart kept donating to the sperm bank. Kevin Hart's movie with sperm bank. I can't remember the movie, but anyway, we have the technology today to where if Jack and Jill are married, Jack donates his sperm and has that frozen, or even Jill donates one of her eggs and has it preserved, and then they find a surrogate mother so now Jack is dead and Jill is dead, but he preserved his sperm, she preserved her egg, and they find a surrogate mother, infuse it in there, and now you have another immaculate conception. So I know a lot of times the family, those are just our religious stories. But now we can talk in terms of science, and we be like, oh no, this is not religion, this is right and exact. But as you were saying, we're automatically going to say our people don't have the tech. Oh, our people didn't have. We had the technology to build the Tower of Babel. We had the technology to build a pyramid, but we didn't have the technology to preserve our sperm and our eggs.
Watch this, brother. We created the tamahu in the petri dish. You feel me? We created the tamahu in the petri dish, but you trying to tell me we can't preserve a seed?
We had the science to graft a goddamn white man.
You feel me? For real. You know what I mean?
Now when you talk like that, of course, it sounds like it's logical that we had the science to fucking have an immaculate conception. I want to give a shout out really quickly to the family. I see a lot of the family from my page coming on over. I want to shout out all the family. It's too many to name, but I want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching. I want to ask that you support my brother D Calico. He is a CrumbTV contributor, and you should expect more from him. But anyway, please continue, brother.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's so crazy. Like, put like this: when you look at the symbology, is how you decode things, and it's so crazy that the whole thing about Saint Nick, like Nick, it was so called was also like a short way that they referred to Nimrod. You feel me? Or Nicholas. You feel me? So they get the whole red hat, from his fez, basically, is what the Santa's hat's supposed to be. But it's like, that whole garb, that whole red and green was the colors of Nimrod, and even the evergreen tree, which is really the tree of life, as far as and especially in that area like Sumeria and places like that. Even the Egyptians, well, the Egyptians truly looked at the aloe plant as the tree of life, but in the Sumeria, they looked at the evergreen tree. Or anywhere, a lot of people look at the evergreen tree as a tree of life because it never dies. You know what I mean?
You just I never heard that before until you just said that. So I just looked a little bit of information up on it, and I'm very intrigued. It says another possible forerunner of Santa Claus is the biblical figure Nimrod. After his death, Nimrod's mother, Esther, the source of the holiday Easter, allegedly had an evergreen tree planted at his burial site and ordered everyone in the kingdom to decorate it on Nimrod's birthday. Nimrod was described as a mighty hunter before the Lord. And if you look at the original matter
of fact, Saint Nick is the Greek version of Nimrod.
Okay. Nimrod, a Gabor in the original language, in Aramaic, a Gabor, a mighty man among the Lord, but was also known for less than honorable acts like attempting and failing to construct the giant Tower of Babel, which pissed off God to no end, and impregnating his own mother, supposedly. That's how they're going to spin that story.
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly.
The family's telling me that the video keeps freezing.
I mean, that's only one person said it though.
Okay.
That's why I didn't really pay it no mind. But but as far as like put it like this, vowels are interchangeable. So it's not just, it wouldn't be just Nimrod, it would be Nimrod. And there's a place right then in what Sumeria is modern day Iraq. So right there in Iraq, you have a place called Nimrod, Iraq. So Nimrod is a place in Iraq, and it was already, he already is from that land anciently. So what I'm saying is you can even look up the treasure of Nimrod. You know what I mean? Like, this man actually existed. You feel me? Like, it was the largest, treasure find. Like, it was only second to King Tut. Only. We talking about enough gold to set off any economy. Like you would be the new powerhouse.
Let me just add on to that. So I looked up Nimrod, and it looks like you're on to something, brother. It's an ancient Assyrian. Again, we're dealing with Assyria, the Northeast Africa, or what they call the Middle East. Iraq is a part of the Middle East. Is an ancient Assyrian city located 30 kilometers south of the city of whatever, so on and so forth. It was a major Assyrian city between approximately 1350 BC and 610 BC. The city located in a strategic position, whatever, in a city's covered around the area. All right, skipping that part. Second paragraph. The name Nimrod was recorded as the local name by some person in the mid 18th century. In the mid 19th century, biblical archaeologists proposed the biblical name was based on the description of Nimrod in the book of Genesis.
Yes, sir.
Brother, you on your shit. You on your shit. It says foundation. The Assyrian king Shalmaneser the first built this empire called Hu, which they refer to again as a variation of Nimrod. Nimrod, the name Nimrod in connection with the site in the Western writings was first used in the travel log of somebody who was in somewhere in Nimrod. In 1830, 2 heaps of Nimrod something has a traditional something attached to it. There's some other shit about it, but all in all, exactly what you're saying about this place being connected to Nimrod has a modern day connection to where they're saying, yeah, in this land, there was really a dude, and we honored him by naming the city Nimrod, or Nimrod.
And as a matter of fact, in ancient Assyria, it was named Nimrod. So the name hasn't changed for like over 3,000 years. You know what I mean? We're talking about 1350 BC.
Okay, the site was described in more detail by the British traveler Claudius James Rich in 1820, shortly before his death. Rich identified the site with the city of Larissa in Zephon, and noted that the locals generally believe this to have been Nimrod's own city. That's what the locals tell you. That's what the people in that city say.
Exactly. Exactly. But to prove that Nirarri is Nimrod, Nirarri is the author of what history records as the Nimrod slab, or the I can't really. Well, I know it's Kala because that was the name of the land, Kalah, Kala orthostat. But it's really the Nimrod slab to be, to put it in layman's terms. But the author of that was Nirarri, Adad-Nirarri, coming from Egypt.
Again, you are right and exact. And the Nimrod slab, because keep in mind this area was what we would call Sumer. Just tomato. Sumer, Babylonia, Chaldea, so on and so forth. So when you're dealing with
Mesopotamia, ancient Mesopotamia,
right? So Sumer or Sumeria, because if you look up Iraq originally, they're going to say Iraq was the land of the Sumerians, Sumer. So the art of the Nimrod slab looks exactly like Sumerian art. It says in the first half of the 9th century, the Assyrian king, whatever his name was, hold on, where am I at? The Assyrian king and somebody else had expanded the Assyrian Empire across the Euphrates. Keep in mind, when we talk about Genesis, they say that the Garden of Eden was right between what, brother? The Euphrates,
well, it was the Fertile Crescent.
and the
It was the Fertile Crescent. It was the Fertile Crescent. Right. You could say, because matter of fact, what is it? Ethiopia. But yeah, it means like the word means between two rivers. I don't know why I'm not remembering it It might be Ethiopia means between two rivers. It's not Ethiopia, but
No. You're right. You're right and exact, because the Garden of Eden was between two rivers. Okay, and Genesis 2:10-14 tells us that the river went out of the Garden of Eden to the water garden, and that it was parted and became four rivers: Pishon, Gihon, Midikel, and Euphrates. We can go and find the Euphrates River today.
yeah.
Today, we can find the Euphrates River to anybody who thinks this is just some imaginary shit. And the Euphrates River is over there in Iraq, Sumer, Chaldea, Babylon.
The Fertile Crescent.
The Fertile Crescent.
Yeah.
So now it says the Assyrian king, he spread his empire across the Euphrates into the Mediterranean Sea, adding to what was now modern day Syria as well. So they went from Iraq over to Syria in the Middle East. After that, there had been a crisis and the expansion had been interrupted, but the grandson, whose name is Nirarri, resumed the Western offensive. Nirarri, among the evidence are the Antaka Stela, the Tel Al Remab Stela, and the Nimrod slab.
And the Nimrod stele. Yeah, which is the same thing as it's a slab. And like you say, in that same slab, it mentions King Nirarri and his dominance over the Canaanite lands and how they all paid tribute to him. Everything they say in the Bible that Nimrod did to the 10 tribes, it was done by King Nirarri. You know, a Nirar is what they're calling a Nimrod, but it's basically, we all the same people. It's the Egyptians. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ancient.
Now, you did say something, and I wanted to kind of just address that real quickly. You said the Canaanite land. When you say the Canaanite land, it sounds like you said a name, or am I reaching?
No. See, and that's another thing. Like, people don't be, like, when we see words, we look at it all as like maybe one word, but we looking at it either a duality or a trinity at all, pretty much at all times when we talk about anciently speaking. Like, that's all they represented was dualities and trinities. So when you talk about Canaanite, which Moors say they are, you know, but they need to know what the hell they are, you know, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Canaanite, but I'm gonna get at it, right? Canaanite, it would be no letter C. Just like we get on the letter J, we gotta get on the letter C. You know what I'm saying? There was no letter C. So it wasn't spelled Canaanite with the letter C, it was the letter K. There was no vowels, and it was the letter N. So we talking about K-N. You feel me? So you can actually say Cain. So that's where you're getting Cain from the Bible. Cain, Cain. And we're on. Like, we worship on the Most High. So Cain and on. Canaan is Canaan. You feel me? The land of Canaan. It has to do with Cain and on.
You got
Is
it.
there noise coming through? Okay,
now,
you can hear me. Hey.
When you say Cain, are you talking about Cain from Cain and Abel? Because I know we're talking about the Bible. I just want to make sure I'm with you.
K-N, yes, Cain, who they call Cain in the Bible. But you know, when I break it down, I'm gonna tell you quick that Cain is Inky. You know what I'm saying? So they teach us as K-N, but I look at it as N-K. Inky is who Inky is who Cain is in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So the story of Enlil and Inky is, you know, the story of Cain and Abel.
Teach.
And even deeper, it's the story of Set and Asar, who we just said Osiris. You know,
Teach.
Set. See, now I'm gonna jump on the word Satan, because you know I had that word on the list also. You feel me? So everybody hates the word Satan, but number one, we talking about really is Set on. Set, you know, the brother of Asar, who we were taught chopped his brother up and whatever, you know, whatever the case may be. It's really the Cain and Abel story. You know what I mean? So that's why we got to look at it a little deeper. We can't just take it off face value and be like, oh, this book is telling me the truth. This brother killed this brother for no reason. But anyways, what I'm saying is Set. Set in Egyptian means throne. So it's the throne. Like anybody, so you know, Set means throne. So you'll see the name Set within another name, and you know what I mean, because that just represents that they're sitting on the throne. They're a royalty. So Set means the throne, and then you got On, which is the Most High. See, and I just seen a brother earlier in the comments, but he brought up right and exact how you really can't separate On from the Egyptian mythology or the culture. You know, On is all throughout. And
Now, a lot of
yeah, bro.
people may not be familiar with On. Would you like to expand on that, or should I?
Yeah, I mean, I could break it down because you know, that's the Most High. You know, like I say, like we were just talking about the land of Chaldea and the Canaanites, and you know, the Sumerians, all of those people, all of their culture. You know, the Most High was Anu, and that's the same Most High that's in all of our culture. You know what I mean? And we just don't understand that, even though they were not monotheistic, even though he was the Most High, they knew good and well he wasn't the only. You know what I mean? So people would have their own God. So you know they would worship all, but On would be like a more like primordial God. You know, or primeval. He's not primordial, but he's primeval. You know, being such an ancient God. But you know, On On, when you see On, like the brother said, which I believe, yeah, matter of fact, On is Heliopolis. He's right. It's the name of the city. You know, just to even take it even further. But On, if you see An, your name could be Antonio. You feel me? And you'll wonder why when you look at the meaning, it'll mean something like, you know, like this person is like sent from God. But the only reason your name has anything to do with God is because it has On in it, A-N. You know what I mean? So O-N, you know, like we already know, the vowels are interchangeable. What I'm getting at is O-N, A-N, A-N-U. All of those are Anu. And Anu is the father of Enki and Enlil, and everything just comes, you know, down from that. Even though it goes before him, but he's still the Most High.
If I could talk about the Bible, we call the Bible, the full name is the Holy Bible. That's the full name. A lot of people may not know this, but Holy Bible translates to Helios, Biblios. I want to read this real quick. Helios means sun. Anytime you see somebody who is holy, they have a halo because they're holy, and you know they'll show this picture of this halo as it looks like a sun behind you. That's why, you know, you'll see like Jesus with the aura or that halo around him, but you'll see Horus with the halo or the sun on top of him. So now Helios means sun, and Biblios is derived from the ancient Egyptian word papyrus, which means paper. Holy book, holy paper means sun book or compiled papers, compiled holy papers, sun paper, sun book, and represents the knowledge of the children of the sun as recorded by the original inhabitants of Egypt. The biblical Jesus, for the most part, is the sun, is the sun in the sky, not the son of the sky daddy. My sister said it's symbolic and the people don't understand. Why did I bring that up, brother? I brought that up because if we go to Genesis chapter, I'm not sure if this is, oh yeah, Genesis chapter 41. No, I don't know what chapter I'm in. Lord help me, but bear with me. I think it's chapter 13, but it says, we read that Joseph married the daughter of the priest of On. Do you remember who Joseph was? The guy who could interpret dreams, his so on and so forth. But Joseph married. I'm sorry, somebody said something in the background. What did they say?
Nah, he say that his brothers had sold him in bondage.
Yeah, Joseph had 12 brothers. They sold him into bondage. He was fucking.
Stole his birthright.
I'm sorry.
They stole his birthright.
Right. And he interpreted shit for the king, and the first shall be last, and it was some shit like that. And you know, they throw him in a hole, and he had a rope.
Ended up being a pharaoh.
Ended up being pharaoh. Okay, so we know who Joseph is. So now, Joseph's wife. Joseph married the daughter. This is in the Bible, family. He married the daughter of the priest of the city of On. So there's a city, and the high priest of that city was Joseph's wife. Now, if you go and look, brother, have you ever heard of the concordance?
Yeah.
So the concordance is the book that translates every word in the Bible. If you go look at the word On in the concordance, it translates as Heliopolis.
The most high, I know. Oh, Heliopolis. Okay.
The city of On is the city of Heliopolis. So then the family will be like, well, that's cute, but I don't know what Heliopolis is. You know, a lot of people may not be Egyptologists. Heliopolis, Egypt. So Heliopolis, or the city of On,
the sun,
the sun city, the holy city. Joseph married the daughter of the high priest from the holy city. And it says Heliopolis was the major city of ancient Egypt. Egypt was not a city, Egypt was a country. It was the capital of the 13th, or Heliopolis Nam of Lower Egypt, and major religious center. Because when we're dealing with the story of Joseph, this is a religious character. But what we're dealing with is real life, and we're just going to see an account for it in the Bible, which is only one perspective, because we're going to see the same story in Sumer, Babylonia, Chaldea, Assyria, west of the Euphrates, whatever you want to say that land is, Northeast Africa, or what they call the Middle East. You know, so now Heliopolis is the holy city. It's what our Bible name is according to the ancient ones. And this city, we're gonna find it in the Bible under the name On. So now when you have words like Satan, Canaan, demon. Oh, a demon is such a bad thing.
See, I say all the time how Hebrews, they know when they see El, they see E-L, they know that means God. But when they see On,
they don't know.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know.
So now
they haven't grew to accepting that.
Exactly. So now you're gonna see I don't know if you remember that song, Joel, you know, the Christmas song. Is it Joel or Noel?
Noel.
Noel. You know, L, you're gonna find L in there, you know. Gabriel, Raphael, Michael L. What was that boy's wife name? Rachel. What did Gabriel say that Jesus' name? Gabriel didn't tell Mary that boy's name was Jesus. Gabriel said that boy's name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
Y'all playing with me, L. So now when you see On, you can't put two and two together. You see it with L all day, but you can't see it with On. You're like, oh, a demon is a bad thing. No, this is a deity, a demiurge, a little god of the big god, a demon.
See, and watch it. Look at the name Emmanuel. When we say Emmanuel, we're really saying the EMM. And then we're saying Anu. We're saying M, Anu, and El. You feel me? Is, you know, like they say in the beginning was the word, you know, and there's no higher vibration Then the Om, you know, that ancient Om sound. So Om is pretty much been worshipped also as a god. And we talking about Om on El.
Right.
That's Emmanuel.
And you know, if I could just look up, because people are, oh, well, sound like Egypt is an evil city, and you know, if the demon is the son of An or a child of An, then An must be a devil. Well, if we look at the etymology of demon, we're going to see etymology from Middle English demon, borrowed from medieval Latin demon, daemon, lar, familiar spirit.
Yep, supernatural.
Guardian spirit.
Yep.
From ancient Greek, it says dispenser, God, protective spirit. What am I trying to tell the family? A demon is a guardian angel, but you've been caught and lost in the language that you don't even know what the words are. You know, Moors will tell you don't say black, but then Moors don't know what a demon is.
Exactly.
Don't you know the root word of what you're saying? If you understood how everything been flipped around, then you won't be so spookified when I say, you know, I love demons.
Exactly.
I love Satan. I love Lucifer.
Like you say, Moors will tell you, you know, like they want to preach about the etymology of certain words, but then you'll bring up the word prophet, and then you'll be like, well, you know, we Moors, we know that a prophet just represents your seventh chakra. You know what I'm saying? It means, you know, the opening of your seventh chakra. So at that point, you consider, you know what I'm saying? That's Christ's consciousness. You consider the prophet at that point. So how Moors gonna be looking like somebody was the last prophet? When God dang it, all you gotta do is open your mind up and reach the, you know, that seventh heaven. Once you reach your seventh chakra, then you have reached your Christ consciousness and you become a prophet at that point.
Brother, I got 1% on the battery. I gotta wrap it up. Can I do a shameless plug and let you go?
For sure.
I am your humble brother Crumb. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please go and follow me on my regular private page, Crumb Snatcher. Please follow me on my business page, CrumbTV. If anybody's familiar with me, can you type my information into the comments? I know I got some family on the feed right now. Can you type my name in the comments and let everybody know to find my business page, which is CrumbTV, my personal page, which is CrumbTV. And really quickly, the brother Asar said Lucifer is Venus, which is a true statement. They've taken our woman, they've demonized her, and they turned her into a man. Lucifer is really Lucy, family. We'll get into that another day when I got a charge on my battery. But with that said, I'm also on Instagram, CrumbTV_. I'm also on YouTube under CrumbTV. Please follow and subscribe. I want to thank Brother Calico. He is an official contributor to CrumbTV. You will see more of him on the platform. But with that said, I must leave you as I came to you, brother. In peace.
In peace. Peace, family.